Some areas may experience heavy rainfall due to Tropical Depression Dante, which Pagasa says could intensify further. The back and forth continues among members of political party PDP Laban over whether the Monday assembly is authorized or not. For the third straight day, the Health Department reports over 7,000 new COVID-19 infections in the Philippines. A health expert expresses confidence on the country's capability to handle highly sensitive vaccines such as Russia's Sputnik V. And France holds an experimental indoor rock concert for thousands of people with face masks and COVID-19 tests. Focused and fearless, here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Riza Diaz. Pagasa reports that Tropical Depression Dante has slowed down as it cruises over the Philippine Sea east of Mindanao. Let's get an update on the weather. We have Pagasa weather forecaster, Mr. Meno Mendoza. He's joining us over the phone. Sir, good evening.
Good evening at magandang gabi din sa ating mga kababayan.
Sir Meno, gusto po naming malaman kung nasaan po ngayon yung lokasyon ni Tropical Depression Dante.
Okay, yung lokasyon ni Dante, no? Ito yung nasa layong 835 kilometers, silangan pa rin ng Mindanao. At may taglan lang nakalakas sa hangin pa rin umabot sa 51 kilometers per hour at may mga pagbugso naman na umabot sa 70 kilometers per hour. Sa kasalukuyan, ito yung kumikilos nga sa direksyong west-northwest sa bilis naman 15 kilometro kada oras. At ito yung nagpapaulan sa bandang Mindanao, ganyan rin sa Central at Eastern Visayas.
Sir Meno, may inaasahan pa po ba tayong paglakas kay Dante sa mga susunod pong oras o araw?
Posible pa itong lumakas at dahil ngayon tropical depression ito, by the next 12 hours, posible itong maging isang tropical storm, madadagdagan yung kanyang intensity. At sa mga susunod na araw ay patuloy pa itong lalakas dahil nga ito'y nasa karagatan. Hindi naman natin ito inaasahan na maglalandfall sa anumang bahagi ng bansa.
Sir Meno, dahil po ba sa pagpasok ng bagyong Dante, ito po ba ay senyales na simula na po ang tag-ulan?
Sa ngayon, posible itong maging daan upang magkaroon tayo, umpisa ang ating tag-ulan. Pero sa ngayon, hindi pa tayo nagde-declare. Hintayin na lang natin yung official statement ng Pag-asa. Pero sa ngayon, yun nga, wala pa tayong official statement.
Marami pa nga rin po ang nakakaramdam ng kakaibang klase na init ngayon pong tag-araw. Na saan pong mga areas, Sir Meno, may pinakamataas na heat index? Meron po ba kayong informasyon tungkol dyan?
Okay, yung pinakamataas na heat index natin ngayong araw, ito yung nandito sa Apari, Cagayan, meron tayong 46 degrees Celsius na heat index. Samantalang dito naman sa Metro Manila, sa Science Garden, particularly sa Quezon City, nagkaroon tayo ng 43 degrees na heat index. At dito sa NAIA, nagkameron tayo ng 45 degrees heat index.
Maraming salamat po. That's Mr. Meno Mendoza, Pagasa weather forecaster. Now, it seems that the rift in the PDP Laban is more evident now as one of the party officials dismissed the palace report of President Duterte allowing call for a National Council Assembly. Executive Director Ron Munsayak insisted that only President and Party President Senator Manny Pacquiao can call on a National Assembly. He added that they have not received any formal communication from Duterte regarding his supposed sanction on the Assembly. The palace earlier said Duterte directed PDP Laban Vice Chairman and Energy Secretary Alfonso Cusi to lead the party's assembly tomorrow. This after Pacquiao told members to ignore Cusi's call. The Belarusian government is criticized for targeting and jailing dozens of dissident journalists. This after journalist Roman Protasevich was arrested in a plane that was forced to land in the Eastern European country. Let's watch this video.
Мы никогда не встречались с такой волной репрессий против журналистов.
Now joining us is Boris Koretsky in Minsk, who is the representative of the Journalists Association in Belarus. In light of the events that happened this week, with Lukashenko landing a plane with a reporter to then get him arrested, we're going to find out what it's like to be a journalist in the country and currently what is happening in the media landscape there. Учитывая события этой недели, что больше всего тревожит СМИ в Беларуси в данный момент?
Ну, тяжело сказать, что больше всего, потому что нападения на медиа сейчас идут с разных сторон. На прошлой неделе в Беларуси был разгромлен самый популярный портал вообще в нашей стране, на который заходят более половины всей интернет-аудитории. И, наверное, самая страшная угроза — это когда к тебе в редакцию или в дом врываются люди в масках, и ты отправляешься в следственный изолятор. На данный момент 34 представители медиа Беларуси находятся вне воли.
В общем, ситуация ухудшается с каждым месяцем, насколько я поняла.
Ситуация ухудшается, потому что в прошлом году осенью мы в основном сталкивались с задержанием, но к концу года власти перешли к уголовному преследованию журналистов. Конечно же, есть и другие ограничительные административные вещи, например, доступ к работе в Беларуси очень серьезно затруднен и журналистам из иностранных изданий. У нас в октябре МИД аннулировал абсолютно все аккредитации иностранных журналистов.
Вот события прошлой недели привлекли внимание к ситуации в Беларуси. Как вы думаете, какой должен сделать вывод остальной мир?
Сейчас главная проблема — это политзаключенные. Если международное сообщество сможет каким-то образом подтолкнуть власть хоть к какому-то ослаблению репрессий, сейчас очень важно сделать все возможное, чтобы облегчить судьбу политзаключенных, которые уже некоторые около года находятся за решеткой. И ситуация там очень сложная, реально. Вот в пятницу умер один из политзаключенных, 50-летний мужчина, у которого никогда не было проблем с сердцем, а он внезапно умер в одной из колоний. Вот это самая главная тема для, я думаю, всех уровней, по крайней мере для нашей организации, где тоже очень много коллег за решеткой, это очень важно.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here on One News. Now, over 7,000 new COVID-19 cases were recorded today. That is based on the Health Department's latest report. The country has now tallied more than 1,200,000 COVID-19 cases, in which 53,700 are still active. At least 139 more COVID-19 patients recently succumbed to the disease, while 6,800 patients recovered from COVID-19. Meanwhile, more than 5 million vaccine doses have been administered in the country, and some 1,100,000 Filipinos are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19. Now, a member of the vaccine expert panel assures the public that the Philippines is capable to handle Sputnik V jabs. This as some 50,000 doses are expected to arrive in the country tonight. In an interview here on One News Now, Dr. Ronchin Solante said the country's storage facilities are ready for the Russian-made vaccines. Sputnik V jabs must be stored in a dark place with temperatures not exceeding negative 18 degrees Celsius.
There are already areas identified in most of this target population, so that once these vaccines will arrive, then these areas will be ready to accommodate these vaccines to be stored in freezers.
Solante also noted that side effects reportedly linked to Sputnik V are just minor, and same with that of other COVID-19 vaccines.
Yung pamamaga, pananakit sa area kung saan binabakunahan, at minsan yung masakit talagang ang katawan, no? So most of the time, these are the common side effects encountered.
Let's now take a look at stories from around the world. Nearly 603 million doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been administered in China, where COVID-19 first emerged over a year ago. Reuters reports that the country's vaccine production capacity is meeting the domestic demand of over 20 million doses per day. China aims to vaccinate 70 to 80% of its population between the end of this year and the middle of 2022. The British government is considering making COVID-19 vaccination compulsory for healthcare workers to stop the spread of the virus in hospitals. Vaccine Minister Nadhim Zahawi said it is vital to make sure that those who look after the most vulnerable groups are vaccinated. And French President Emmanuel Macron says they will invest in boosting the production of COVID-19 vaccines in Africa. Macron explains that this aims to close a gap in the availability of the shots between African and Western nations. He notes that Africa makes up around 20% of the world's need for vaccines, but they only have 1% of the supply. Now, around 5,000 people attended an indoor rock concert in France as part of the country's assessment of slowly returning to pre-pandemic life. Fans of the French rock band Indochine had a blast in attending their concert in central Paris yesterday. But before going to the concert, they had to take a COVID-19 test first. Fans were also mandated to wear masks during the concert. Paris hospital authorities are currently experimenting and assessing how concerts will be able to resume as France gradually ends restrictions imposed by the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, the results of the experiment will be disclosed by the end of June. And for more updates, visit News 5, the Philippine Star, and Business World Online. You may also visit our website, onenews.ph, for more in-depth analysis. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. I'm Riza Diaz. We are One News.